I think we are the real leftists, and the new leftists are so far left that they have come out on the right again. I totally agree with you there. So many of today's leading voices on the right are people who used to be lifelong leftists, or so they thought, until today's new left became so illiberal that they had to leave, like myself. People like Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson and Russell Brand and even Nicki Minaj has been pushed to the right. The left and right has essentially flipped, and Gen Z are largely too young to realize this because they weren't politically active when things were different. But most Gen Xers, like myself, will remember when being a leftist was essentially what is considered being a right winger today, believing in peace and tolerance and racial equality and personal freedom and freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and challenging corporations, challenging the elite, being suspicious of big business and big government and the pharmaceutical industry, believing in natural health and agriculture and protecting our families from harmful contaminants in our food and environment, and being spiritually awake and a free thinking hippie. As Gen Xers, these were the sort of things that would typically make one a leftist. But all this seemed to change when the left became rich and powerful and ended up in bed with the corporations, and all of the negatives we used to associate with the ultra capitalist, greed driven, controlling, intolerant, bigoted right became left wing attributes. Because throughout history, the pendulum has always swung back and forth between left and right, depending on who holds the power and who is therefore the oppressor. I think it's ironic how today's woke brigade is so obsessed with narratives around oppressor and oppressed, and they fail to see who the oppressors are today. The institutions of power and control in the wealthy urban centers from their seat of ruling corporate privilege under which we are all enslaved are run by the left. When Hillary Clinton infamously branded the right as deplorables and liberal mainstream media lapped it up and pretty much ran with that narrative ever since, it should have been a wake-up call to everybody as to who really were the oppressors and the oppressed.